Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. This is Mr. Middlepath, and inshallah you guys are all doing well. In this video, we're going to talk about what's been going on last week within the Gaza war updates, and it's been a while since I've done it, but I think it's time to do it now. And let's go over a quick recap of the week. On Tuesday, September the 17th, there was a pager attack with over 4,000 Hezbollah members targeted, and Israel was able to sneak explosive devices into the pagers. 2,700 people were injured from that. On the 18th, the next day, there was a radio attack. Same thing, but instead of pagers, there were radios, and I think it was about 1,000 people were targeted. 450 people were injured from the exploded radios. 57 airstrikes on the 19th, and then on the 20th, a senior commander was assassinated. This senior commander's name is Ibrahim Aqil. He's a third-ranking member of Hezbollah, head of operations. He's one or two persons removed from Nasrallah. Nasrallah is the leader of Hezbollah. So that is a really, really, really big deal, guys. And before we talk about my thoughts on the matter, let's just go a little bit more in depth about what exactly happened. So first of all, it's important to understand that this is a very big L on Hezbollah's part, an extremely big L. Even Hezbollah themselves came out with a statement saying that this was a severe blow to them. The fact that their supply lines managed to get infiltrated. How did this happen? On the news, there's different things going around. So on Reuters, for example, they're saying that it was Taiwan. The pagers came from Taiwan. On other news sources, they're saying that it is a shell company in Hungary that was called BAC that was making pagers that was just basically owned and operated by Israeli intelligence. And other sources are blaming Bulgaria for it. And Hungary is blaming Bulgaria. Bulgaria is blaming Hungary. They're blaming Taiwan. Taiwan is blaming them. Even Japan tried to do an investigation on their own pagers to see if it was possible that explosive devices could be snuck into their pagers when they're being assembled on the assembly line, and they came to the conclusion that it couldn't have been their pagers because their assembly line moving machinery is too fast for someone to sneak an explosive device into it. That was what they came up with. As far as what I think, based on what I read, Israeli intelligence and the way that they operate, they are notorious for opening shell companies. They're well known for doing that, and the shell company has a lot of benefits. You have a company operating under a legitimate business and under a legitimate name. And instead of having secret agents or having secret or assets working for you, local people that you're hiring to do your dirty work, basically those local people look like they are employees of your business. And that employee might have some actual legal things that they're doing, such as renting out cars or going into whatever the business is that requires them to scope out the area that they need to scope out. In this case, BAC was in Hungary, and they were building pagers. That was their business. But it was owned and operated by Israeli intelligence, and they made sure that their customers were only in Lebanon, I don't want to say in Lebanon, sorry, Hezbollah or Hezbollah-aligned customers, so that when the time came for them to, go with the plan of planting explosive devices in it, they went ahead and went with the plan. Obviously, that only works once, and then Hezbollah is obviously not going to buy from that company ever again, but the damage has already been done. They did, from a military point of view, it was a genius move. You have to give credit where credit is due, and I'm going to get to that type of copium response that people have later. But what is the goal of this? Like I said, big L on Hezbollah's part, a massive intelligence failure, and it seems that Israel is trying to push Hezbollah into offense, right? So that when Hezbollah invades, Israel can say, hey, they started the war, America, come help us. And Hezbollah is trying to up the ante of, all of these settlers being displaced. They're like, they're never coming back. You guys need to invade us. And both sides know, Israel and Hezbollah both know, that whoever attacks first is going to be at a disadvantage. Hezbollah knows that their strength is with defense. If Israel invades, they can probably win through defense. And Israel knows that if Hezbollah invades, Israel can probably win through defense as well. My own thoughts on the matter is that from a strategic point of view, Hezbollah is trying to win this war through attrition. I don't know if that is the best strategy. I've always said, and I've said it in multiple other videos before, that Hezbollah is making a big mistake by not ratcheting up the ante much further. They have a lot of missiles. They have a lot of capability to strike into the Israeli territories and deep into the Israeli territories, and they're choosing not to do that. And the longer they take not doing it, the more Israel can use their superior technology advantages to kind of wear Hezbollah out by attacking and striking important targets, important people, and important facilities. Hezbollah, on its side, why they believe they can win a war of attrition is because the rockets they have are very good in terms of range and damage, and they're much more cheaper to build. So they reasoned out that through cost and through supply and manufacturing, that they can have much more rockets and missiles than what Israel can get, because Israel has higher technology rockets that are more expensive. Now, on from that to the Copium part, I've already seen one person on Twitter saying, no, this is not an attack on Hezbollah, this was an attack on Lebanese citizens, and then the mainstream media tried to present this as a cunning, amazing Israeli victory. And there's a couple of reasons why this is Copium. Is because first, Hezbollah themselves admitted and said that this is a severe blow to them. So it was a lot of Hezbollah people being attacked and injured from this. But also at the same time, that doesn't negate the fact that you could argue this is a terrorist attack for sure, because a lot of civilians were harmed. A lot of these pagers went off in civilian areas, and a lot of these pagers even went off in hospitals, and children were killed because of this. So of course the media is going to say, hey, when our guys do it, it's cool and it's a stunning victory. When you guys do it, it is terrorism, right? So I think it's important for us to take an unbiased look at these things, and putting morality to the side, because obviously none of us who are watching this video are all normal people. No one is condoning violence against non-combatants and against civilians and so forth. But when we look at things from a military and strategic point of view, we have to look at, okay, well, who got the victory and who got the L here? And I've noticed on my channel, at least, if I talk about something Iran is doing good or Iran is doing bad, people get, hurt feelings about it, whether they support Iran or not. If I'm talking about Israel, same thing. If I'm talking about Hamas, same thing. If I'm talking about Saudi Arabia, same thing. People will rush to the defense of their perceived group that they love the most. And instead of looking at this rationally, who took the W in this round? Who took the L in this round? And it's important to be honest about these things so that we can have a proper, realistic understanding and assessment of the war. And I think without a shadow of a doubt, this week was a very bad week for Hezbollah. They definitely took the L on this round, and the Israelis played their cards right. They played it in a very smart way. This actually might have been one of their biggest W's in the entire war so far, if we're going to be honest in that way. So that is that for this week. Let me know what you guys think, and inshallah we will talk next week. If there's anything of note to talk about next week, then I will. If nothing really happens next week, then I probably won't make a Gaza war update until something actually of interest and of note, like something very important happens. Take care. Peace out. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, guys. Last but not least, before I let you guys go, please donate to this GoFundMe page for Jumana's husband. If you guys remember, Jumana and her twin babies were killed in a horrific Israeli attack by a tank shell from that shot into their apartment. She had just given birth to her 2 twin babies. They were only days old. The husband was on his way to get the birth certificates from the hospital, and when he came back to the home, it was destroyed and his life was turned upside down and his family was killed. And may Allah have mercy on them. If you guys want to help the husband get back on his feet, because everything in that apartment was destroyed that day, and help this brother out, I will leave a link in the GoFundMe below. Please donate whatever you can. If you can afford it, please donate. If you cannot afford it, please make dua for the brother and keep him in your prayers. Take care. Peace out. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.